Welcome to Network Spotlight. I'm Mikhail. Our guest today is Shu, who is a software engineer at Facebook and also the creator of HEXLINK. HEXLINK is a platform that enables users to receive cryptocurrency by converting their email or social accounts into wallet addresses. HEXLINK supposedly leverages a no-cost mapping from Web2 identities to blockchain addresses and HEXLINK Identity Oracle, providing users with a secure and reliable way to receive cryptocurrency. The platform allows users to pay gas fees with any tokens or fiat. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and leave a comment if you have any questions or thoughts. Let's get started. Shu, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
Absolutely. I was really excited to meet Peter at ETH Denver, and when he told me about some of the work that you're doing, I wanted to have you on. As I know, you're the president of ABC blockchain community, and you're
I
also
was.
a
I was.
software engineer at Facebook.
Right.
So I know you've got a lot of knowledge to share about your work in Web3. But I specifically wanted to learn more about Web3 identity, as that seems to be a focal point for you right now.
Right.
So, can you give us a broad overview? What exactly is HexLink, which is one of the main projects you're working on right now?
Yeah. So HexLink is is a project we initiated trying to solve the user experience problem for Web3 applications. So nowadays, like the user experience of using the apps is pretty bad because it introduces too many new concepts for the users, including wallet, private key, connect wallet, public address. All these kind of new terms are a burden for Web2 users to understand. So what we're doing is we're trying to provide an end-to-end solution to abstract all these kind of concepts away from users' mindset, which means we can provide a standard Web2 user experience for Web3 users and Web3 applications while retaining the decentralization of Web3. Basically, we're using Web3 tech stack to mimic the Web2 user experience. With HexLink, user will be able to log in a DApp with either email or social account. And but like the email and the social account verification part is done by a ZK verification on chain, so it's decentralized. And then and also support this kind of two-factor user experience for users. So imagine this kind of case: user logged in at the apps and want to send his NFT. The user experience with HexLink will be like user logged in a NFT marketplace or NFT management application, whatever thing, with the email. Once he's logged in, he wants to send NFT to a friend, and then he can use the friend's email as a recipient directly because you can send tokens to other email users or social account users. And because this is a sensitive operation, and you will get a push notification in your mobile device say, hey, do you want to confirm this or not? Through an authenticator app like Google Authenticator or Duo or Aussie, similar like that. And the user confirms that, and the transaction is sent. The whole process will be the exactly same with Web2 user, like Web2 applications, like you're using any like uh, TikTok, Google, or Twitter. Yeah, exactly the same. So that's something like we're aiming to achieve, mimicking the Web2 user experience with Web3 tech stack. The reason why we think it's important is because we believe the current Web2 user experience has been proved or demonstrated by the past decades mobile internet development. Users already been educated and trained, and it's been proved that this is very user-friendly user experience for users to adopt. That's why we think if we can merge this experience from Web2 and the decentralization tech stack from Web3, we can make a success.
What do you think are the current limitations of the traditional like Web2 model?
I think the problem with Web2 is the identity system. The identity is fragmented, which means user will have like multiple identities, including your Google account, your Twitter account, and everything. They're not connected, right? and it can never be connected actually, because of this kind of, because it's not decentralized. So I talked with the VP of Facebook before and asked like one question: why Facebook cannot accept Google login? And the answer is because we are kind of like in a competition. And imagine like half of our users are from Google account, and one day Google cut his, like, just cut the line and say, hey, you cannot use Google account to log in Facebook anymore. We lost 50% of our users immediately. So this kind of provider lockout problem are making this kind of universal identity layer impossible. Basically, you can never use one identity to use all applications in Web 2. It's not possible. Yeah. But with Web 3, it's possible now, because with Web 3, like, everything's on chain and your identity is decentralized. And there is no way for others to prevent you using identity to use another application, as long as you hold a private key, right? So this makes this kind of Web3 identity, a universal identity layer, becomes possible. And I think this will like dramatically solve the problem that for now, like Web 2, all applications, the data, the API are kind of like isolated. So they're kind of like the whole ecosystem is extremely fragmented now. It's very hard to chain them up and build something like make data flow smoothly again. But with in Web3, by like taking advantage of this universal identity layer, this is possible. Yeah. However, the problem with current Web3 identity is that the user experience is too bad. So I think we need to borrow the skin, or borrow the good part from Web2, the flows, but and to wrap that so user can easily to be onboarded and understand that part, but retain the core nature of decentralization and universal identity layer part.
So, how can Web3 identity promote online privacy and security? And what do you think are the risks associated with this?
So before, you are relying on, in Web2, the identity you own. You don't own your identity, right? You just own something like Google give you as a Google account, or you own something like Facebook give you as a Facebook account. They can ban you immediately, right? The good part of that is like Facebook and Google are a very professional company. They have like a lot of engineers to dealing with this kind of security issues. So they I think they are professional than majority of the individuals. So they can provide a more secure solution to protect your account security, to anti-spam. And in Web3, it becomes like opposite of that. Users are in charge of their key by themselves. A lot of people are concerned that is user capable of handling the data and security by themselves at all. I think that's a major concern, right? But I'm quite like optimistic about that part, because I believe by uh like, just imagine the open source community, right? Before, like, people think like open source community is kind of like utopian, never can compete the closed source community because you're not professional enough. But turns out like the open source community is taking the world. I think the same thing here. People are concerned like user cannot handle the security by themselves, but it's actually not the case, because as with the support of this kind of open source softwares, people are building this kind of security model and handlers, embedded into this kind of local device or local or mobile app. User will be able to protect their thing well, just just like with the help of this kind of the technologies or open source softwares. Yeah, I think Certic is doing this kind of smart contract auditing, and it's the same thing here, right? Because like a lot of people will help you audit your software, and the software will be more secure, and the software is open. User can protect their own security and privacy by using these existing softwares. I think that's the point. You cannot expect the user can protect themselves by using a raw mobile device.
So, how can organizations integrate Web3 identity into an existing system? What are some of the things that they need to consider if they were to, go down that path?
So majority of Web2 companies, if they want the reason why they adopt Web3 identity is because it's not because they're fan of decentralization and security privacy. It's more of like they just like think the people who are using this identity could is not overlapped with my existing user base. So I can take advantage of that part and to do my user growth. If I support this kind of identity, they're embedded in, I got some new user. And use space is always like what a Web2 company, especially a social company, like cares about, right? So that's the major thing they're considering. If like not a lot of people are using this kind of Web3 identity, then I don't think they have the motivation to adopt that at all. Yeah. So that makes me feel like instead of like convincing Web2 companies to adopting Web3 identities, we have to do these two things in parallel. Basically, we have to like build our own Web3 ecosystem to build new applications from scratch and attract more users in. Once more users in this ecosystem, they will be forced to adopt you because otherwise they're losing their user base.
What kind of advantages do you think this would open up once we increase adoption?
I think the it's kind of like reversed, you know. It's not like because we take advantages after the adoption. It's because you are more superior than existing model, so you can do this kind of mass adoption. The mass adoption is the result of that. It's not the reason of that. Yeah, a lot of people are talking about network effect now. They believe that once you got a network effect, you will be more successful. But ultimately, the way you get network effect is like you have to do better. You know, you have to have something special to attract people in. You have to build a like really reliable and uh, good community that people want to join, right? So it's the opposite of that. Instead of like saying asking like what kind of advantages we can get by using adoption by getting this kind of mass adoption, I would say like we should ask what things we can do better than existing Web2 applications to get users in. Yeah, that's like the way we think about that. And a lot of people don't believe that Web3 applications are superior than Web2 because of the drawbacks, you know, the limitations of Web3 applications today. It's expensive, it's slow, it has like a lot of like this kind of niche things inside, you know, like rug pull and yeah, a lot of hacks around, right? A lot of people don't believe that. So they don't have faith in Web3. They only have faith on these kind of crypto coin prices. So once the coin price fluctuates, they just lost faith along the way. so so, but I think Web3 the model is actually superior than Web2 applications, and the killer part of this Web3 uh, ecosystem is that it's interoperable and composable at the very beginning. Yeah, I think that's what we care about. It's just like one opinion because I know a lot of people are care Web3 because of other things, but we care Web3 because of this kind of native built-in interoperability and composability. And we believe this thing is something is naturally like it's in nature better than existing ecosystem because it's not fragmented. And we believe like once apps built on like more and more apps built on top of Web3 and they are interoperable together, user will be able to uh, for example, like customize their digital life because they can open more use cases instead of just like using something like others built for you. They will be more flexible and customizable, and this will like unlock a lot of use cases like current like today's Web2 applications can never do because the limitation of their business model and the fragmented ecosystem. Yeah, that's what I believe in.
Yeah, I mean, interoperability, hear it a lot. I think that if we get it right, that's obviously a big advantage. You mentioned one of the drawbacks. You mentioned security. Obviously, it's on both sides, right? It's up to the platform itself, and also it's up to the user as well to protect themselves. So let's touch on that. Let's touch on the user side. Like, what can in this decentralized world? Or hybrid decentralized world, what can users do to protect themselves?
Uh, I would say like user can never like just like my grandpa can never protect himself, you know, just by him by herself. You cannot rely on self to protect it. I think it's still like as I said, Web3 has to have it has to have a community who will care about this kind of security and privacy feature and pushing all these kind of ecosystem participants like the app developers, you know, to follow some guidelines or rules to build their applications to ensure the security of the applications. You can do some public auditing to like give them pressure to enforce them to build a secure application. And every time you find a security hole, it's just like, yeah, it's like you need the community to push them to fix that. And so in this way, like you're not relying on users themselves to protect themselves. You are relying on a great culture, a great ecosystem to protect the users. Yeah, that's what how we think about this. Yeah, I don't think user can protect themselves just like because they don't program. The application not build them. They're a user of this kind of application. They pay for that, but they don't build that. You still have to rely on the builders to follow a pretty good rule and like to do this kind of job for the users.
Where do you see, Web3 identity? Where do you see it in 3 to 5 years from now?
Uh, I think we see two trades. The first trade is like uh, so I think there's a two separate areas, like they're not super like overlapped with each other. The first one is called DID. I'm not sure if you've heard DID before, like decentralized identity. That's kind of like one area, and a lot of companies are doing this kind of DID projects, right? The other area is so-called wallets. So
Mhm.
this sounds like two non-overlapping concepts. Uh, but what I can see from the current industry is that like the one who are doing DID are I'm not sure if in the future, but currently I think it's kind of like losing its momentum a little bit because it's kind of like trying to rebuild a identity system from scratch and trying to adopt like build the whole ecosystem applications on top of a brand new identity system, and that's pretty hard. And the wallet part, like now it's getting more and more hot. A lot, like a lot of new ID and wallets are coming out because they are built on top of EVM, uh, especially because this kind of recent wave of account abstraction. Yeah, I think it's getting more and more hard is because like they have applications in to support. They're building this kind of wallet to support existing application. They have the user base. Yeah. So I think one trade of this is like, or one lesson we learned is that you have to in next 3 or 5 years, people should focus on this kind of existing like the users who are using your product and the applications like having this kind of users instead of building everything from scratch, trying to like build a brand new system. Yeah, that's why we are super bullish on this kind of account abstraction channel, smart contract wallet. We believe like in the next 3 or 5 years, account abstraction combines layer two because the drawback of smart contract wallet that the gas fee is pretty high. It's much higher than the simple external owned account like public key pair. But in layer two, gas fee is not severe problem. So the one trade we can see is like with combination of layer two by reducing the gas fee a lot, a smart contract adoption could be the future and be the mainstream adoption option in layer two or like a cheaper chance. That's one trade we can see. The other trade we can see is like a lot of wallets are competition. Like we went to the ETH Denver. There's a wallet count. You can see like there's thousands of crypto wallets out there are competing with each other, and they claim to say that okay, they will be the because they are interested in building this kind of wallet because they claim they will be the entry point of Web3, right? It's kind of like a very famous slogan, so-called wallet is the entry point of Web3. But we see another trend comes out like so-called authentication solutions for like for example particle network or Web3 auth. They're trying to support dApps. They were trying to embed this kind of wallet into dApps directly and support social logins or email logins for dApps directly, which means they are bypassing the wallet. And user can log in dApps immediately, like with email social accounts, without like connecting a wallet or using Wallet Connect, right? For these two trades, I think we believe in the future, the authentication solution is like we're trying to like merge these two, but I would say like user experience level. I think let user to use email or social accounts or other username password to log in an application instead of logging wallet first and then log in the dApps using a wallet. It's much simpler and it's easier for you to understand because user can bypass the wallet middleware to log in the apps, right? So between these two, another trend we can see is that I think in the future the user experience for the apps would be like user can log in the apps with their username or like ELS name or even email or social accounts directly and without connecting the wallet. And the wallet will be just like one of the apps who help you manage your assets, right? And we can extract the account layer done to be a universal account layer. So another trend we can see is like the Web3 identity layer. We hope like wallet will be like just be one of the dApps. It could be like Venmo and PayPal. It's still like very important. It has its market share, but it's not the Web3 entry point anymore because you will not use wallet to log in other dApps. Just like you cannot use Venmo or PayPal to log in your Facebook, log in your GitHub, right? Yeah. So that's another trend we see. The user experience of dApps will be more and more to like a traditional Web2 experience, and most majority of the dApps in the future could bypass the wallet login part, and the wallet will be just like one of the dApps, and it's not the entry point of Web3 anymore, but it's still important. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think you nailed it, and I think across the industry in general, the key to maturity is going to be where people use these applications that are on the chain, but people don't even realize it, right?
Yeah.
And so to that point, I think I do agree with you. What are your thoughts on? I don't know if you're very familiar with like MPC technology. I know a lot of wallets are utilizing this. It seems to be a very hot topic right now. Are you familiar with MPC technology? And if so, like, what are your thoughts on it?
I'm not super familiar with the technical details, but I know what they're doing. They're splitting the private key and like with multiple share and like so a different party can hold a part of that and they can do this kind of recovery and do multi-factor authentication, right? That's what I understand. And uh, the first thing is like I want to emphasize that MPC solution is not a truly multi-factor authentication solution because per the definition of Europeans guidance for what is a multi-factor authentication, you have to like choose, for example, two-factor authentication. You have to choose two out of three, which three is are something you know, something you own, and something you have like a device, something you earn like an account like biometric, something you are, oh sorry, something you know, something you are, and something you own. And you have to pick two of them to claim that you're a two-factor authentication. For private key, even no matter how many split you split them into, it's still like one factor. If you like very rigidly follow the guideline, of this kind of two-factor authentication. That's one thing I think people are not aware of in this industry. They claim like as long as you can split it into multi-part, then it becomes the multi-factor, but it's not the case. Yeah, multi-factor means you have to pick two out of three at least. Yeah. So for MPC itself, I think MPC is a solution to to protect your private keys. That's it. That's it. That's it does, right? And it's highly coupled to this kind of EOA model. EOA means external on account compared to this contract account like smart contract wallet. It's highly coupled to this EOA model. And uh, I see it like a diverge here because most of the authentication solutions like Web3 Auth or a particle network, they are doing this kind of MPC solution like MIKHAIL'S. I think they are doing this kind of MPC solutions. So they are focusing on this kind of EOA model, external account model. And while all the wallets are turning into smart contract wallet like rapidly. So this diverge here is pretty interesting because the MPC is more focusing on the EOA itself. So they are not actively switching to the smart contract wallet account. That's why I think this kind of like a concern for existing authentication solutions because I believe, at least I believe, like a smart contract wallet is the future. And eventually, if you want to merge this to the MPC solution, could be a key, a component of the whole authentication framework that just a solution for you to protect your private key. But the account layer will be staying on chain as a smart contract wallet account. I think that would be a more reasonable setup, I would say. Yeah. Another interesting thing is like MPC with the smart contract account like EIP 4337, the account abstraction EIP, it's already natively support this kind of so-called signature aggregation. So basically, you can have multiple signers, sign a signature, and the bounder, so-called bounder, who will like pack all these kind of user operations into a transaction for users using this smart contract account, will do this kind of signature aggregation for you. So I think these two functionality are a little bit similar. This is a way. Basically, for MPC, I don't think it's multi-sig. Yeah, I'm thinking of the relationship between the MPC and multi-sig, because now this kind of smart contract accounts are natively support this kind of multi-sig situation solution now by this kind of so-called signature aggregation. Do we still need MPC solutions to do the job? That's something I'm thinking recently. So I feel like there is a hidden competition between these two, but it's not very clear now. you know, yeah. For example, like if I have multi-sig support, native multi-sig support for smart contract wallet, I can have three different keys and do the signature aggregation, right? It's in security level, it's the same thing as like I split the private key into three shares and hold like three different people holding it. So I can see the similarity between these two solutions. So that's why I think MPC is a more of a solution for EOA, while signature aggregation is a more of a solution for smart contract wallet. If smart contract wallet adoption is a mainstream adoption option in the future, then I feel like MPC solution will be not losing its momentum, but maybe not as hot as it right now. That's my feeling. Yeah.
This is the exciting part about this, right? We're still so early that a lot of this is just, whether it be speculation or we're just, brainstorming into what would transpire down the road. But that's certainly, I'm always to get different perspectives. So thank you for sharing yours. Transition a little bit, Shu. So tell me, we focused a lot about Web3 identity and the importance of it, vulnerabilities, adoption, all these things. Tell me about HEXLINK in particular. What are you working on right now? What's the roadmap looking like?
Yeah, sure. So HexLink, I like we're trying to like providing three different things with HexLink. The first thing is like we trying to uh, I think it's a pretty cool thing. It's like we're trying to convert all existing Web2 users with the email or social accounts into Web2 Web3 users like with one click. So basically, we with this so-called ZK verification I mentioned before, we can convert all these kind of email address users or social account users, or email address or social account identities into a smart contract account address immediately. Which means every email user and every Google Twitter user already got a smart contract wallet address. And they can use the address to receive tokens immediately without even deploying the smart contract. That's one thing we're doing. Basically, you give me an email now, I can send you tokens, and you will receive tokens with the email address directly. In this way, we convert these 4 billion email users and 3 billion social account users into Web3 users already, right now. Once they deploy that into smart contract into the chain, it's already the case. And they can receive tokens without doing anything. That's one cool thing. The first cool thing we're doing. Yeah. The second cool thing we're doing is like we're building this kind of universal account layer, smart contract account layer, which is AA compatible, account abstraction compatible layer, and to has like more enhanced features like modularized a modularized account. A user can choose the modules or plugins they're interested in to use. For example, rate limiting, autopay, multi-factor. It's user's choice. As I said, like the user customize by themselves instead of doing the choice decision for them. And social recovery, because we bring the Web2 social graph into Web3 by enabling this on-chain email and social account usage. Now people can do real social recovery. So when I say real social recovery, I mean like the social recovery today used by other wallets, not real social recovery because there's no social part in it. When you do social recovery, it has to be social first. You have to use your close friend's email as your guardian instead of some arbitrary address like you don't know or some other address you own. You know, that's so-called social recovery, and we're doing this real social recovery. And the third cool thing we're doing is like we are trying to, instead of using your dApps, using your wallet to log in and connect dApps, we're trying to find a way to let dApps find the authenticator. So we wrote a EIP 6662 for that. Basically, we hope in the future you set up your authenticator once or set up a wallet once, and dApps, all dApps, including future ones, can find your wallet or authenticator and push notifications to you directly instead of you actively connecting to any dApps. So user experience would be like you log in dApps with the email, and dApps can find the authenticator and push notifications to you if necessary. So you don't have to do this kind of connect wallet anymore for any dApps. Yeah, that's what we're doing. Three things, three components. In the total, like we're trying to provide an end-to-end solution to provide a standard Web2 experience for Web3 users. Yeah. And the roadmap is like the first part is already done. Actually, we already converted all email users or social account users into Web3 users. It's just like we are still doing some some cleanup work to ensure, for example, like the user address could be the same across all EVM chains, or that kind of work, like some leftover work. And I think in 1 month everything will be done, and the first part is already done. The second part is like we're already working on that. I think it will be done in 2 months, and we're actively developing this kind of account layer. We are doing this kind of 4337 compatibility work, and we're even like setting up our own bundle service to support the account abstraction community. The third part is not done yet. After the second part is done, we will do the third part. But before the end of September, I think, or even August, we will be able to give every user's end-to-end solution. Finish the third part like in 2 or 3 months, and then like we will have a comprehensive solution to given to all Web3 applications and users. Yeah, basically that's a roadmap. We hope we can finish everything finish the implementation part before end of August or end of September, and before end of this year, we can have some user case adoption and to show the potential of HEXLINK to the industry, to the ecosystem.
That's exciting, and sounds like there's still a lot more to be built. Uh, I also heard that you recently participated in a hackathon. Can you share a little bit about that?
Oh yeah, sure. So we participated this kind of hackathon hosted by OKChain and the Google Cloud. Uh, yeah, one reason is because we are really want to get some Google Cloud credit because we're running some node online. Yeah, so yeah, but like we deployed our chain, like our contract on OKChain, and do this kind of email translation. Basically, uh, we successfully made a demo to show that how you can log in email with HEXLINK and in OKChain, and then you can set up account and send tokens to any other email users, and the other one will receive that. Basically, a very simple end to end like ERC twinning that like ERC twinning transferring use case. But I think it demonstrates the potential of that because this ERC twinning token transfer could be any smart contract interaction, right? And we basically like just like finish the first part, the second part, and put this together as a demo and show to everyone to say like, hey, this is how the user experience is good like by using HEXLINK. The third part is still not finished yet, so we didn't like present it in the hackathon. But I think I hope like in H2 we will be able to show everyone like the comprehensive user experience. Yeah.
Amazing. Well, you definitely got your hands full, very busy. So I appreciate you taking some time to educate us about the importance of Web3 identity and also to make it a lot more convenient because as you mentioned, interoperability. That's the main goal here. Where can people follow along on your journey?
We have a Twitter account, so called HEXLINK Official. Yeah. We also just started our Discord group. It's not officially open yet, but we'll open that soon once we released our very like MVP. So users can try it out and give us feedbacks and also like request features in our Discord group. Yeah.
Sounds great. I'll be sure to leave the links in the comments. Any parting thoughts for the listeners?
Uh, what do you mean by parting thoughts?
Anything you want to leave off with?
Oh yeah, sure. So, uh, we're writing like two Medium articles. I'd like to just like do some advertisement for one of the articles, so called "Unlocked Full Potential of Web3," because in that one we give we just like expand our full vision of how Web3 looks like, and I hope like we want to like know more people who are agreed or who are also like excited about the future of Web3, like in that perspective. Yeah, basically we explained why the interoperability and the composability works, and then introduced a model, so-called KIT application workstream model, a three-layer model, to explain how Web3 gonna look like eventually, and how Web3 can overcompete and overtake Web2. I think a lot of people are losing faith in Web3 because of these kind of limitations of current applications. But we want to elaborate why Web3 is superior and how Web3 can overtake Web2 in a very concrete way. And please check out our article, Medium articles, and just like let us know if you have any feedbacks and if you agree on this kind of vision, because that's very important to us. The whole team has a very strong faith on this kind of vision, and we are taking HEXLINK at the very step of the big vision. The very step is like you can have a very unified identity layer first, but in the future you have much more work to do. If you, once it's done, on top of this, there's much more work for us to finish. We want to everyone else like hear our voice, and if they agree on this kind of vision, join us, and we can build a community together to achieve this kind of goal.
Sounds great. Yeah. So we'll put a link for the site. You have your Discord that you just started, and also your Medium articles. So we'll be sure to check all of that out. Shu, thank you so much for your time. It was a real pleasure having you on. Best of luck to you with all the upcoming milestones, and we'll stay in touch.
Yeah, great, sure. Thank you for inviting me to do this speech. That's very helpful, I think.
Absolutely.